Hi everyone, hope you are doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, there is the emerging of division in Kenya Kwanza ahead of their formation of government over the competing interest of power and leadership between the Deputy President Gachagua and the ANC party leader, who is later to be the Prime Cabinet Secretary in William Ruto's government. Gachagua and Musalia are having infight in Kenya Kwanza over power and leadership. And this thing has been happening silently on the ground because no one is coming out to speak about it. And even if you listen to Gachagua during the interview with the Sophia Wanuna on KTN, you could realize and understand the reason why he has delayed to move into his new official residence for the deputy president. For those who are keen, you will understand why the delay. Because once Ruto was sworn in, the following day, in fact on the same day, he was already moved to the State House. But Gachagua is yet to make the decision to move to the official residence of the deputy president. So the question is why? I want us to go through some posts by some people here, and then after that we want to look also on the same issue. This post is touching on Rigathi Gachagua leadership. This is what Miguna said about Rigathi Gachagua. DP Rigathi Gachagua has self-esteem. That's why he isn't bothered by the red carpet. Those who focus on the red carpet, bodyguards and the trapping of power like hiyo jina amesema hapo sitasoma, may not appreciate this significance point, but this continues will prove my point. Stay focused regarding Gachagua. But Donald Kipkorir has a different view from what Miguna is posting here, because Miguna was reacting to a photo which was shared online where you can see President William Samoei Ruto walking on a red carpet, but the immediate next man close to him, it is Musalia Mudavadi. They are all laughing. Then upon Alfred Mutua, the other side, out of the carpet. Then we have the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua walking on the other side, out of the carpet. Then we have Kimani Ichung'wah behind them for carpet. This is what Donald Kipkorir has to say. There is too much juvenile excitement in Kenya Kwanza. Protocol and hierarchy demands President William Ruto and Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua ought to be on the red carpet. If Gachagua doesn't demand his space, he will be mistreated by those walking on the red carpet. And remember, in as much we are reading the views from Miguna and Donald Kipkorir, Taifa Leo also had a story with the headline ini Kiswahili sasa, tetesi zaibuka, naibu rais hafurahishwi mkuu wa mawaziri kutumia jengo lake. That was the headline in Taifa Leo. That Rigathi Gachagua is not happy with the decision of Ruto leadership to give Musalia Mudavadi his official office, ile ya Annex. That's the story. So, why, the question we are asking on this panel today, why the infight in Kenya Kwanza, and why is Rigathi Gachagua not happy with the decision of Musalia Mudavadi taking the office, and why the delay to move in the official residence for the deputy president? That is what we want to try and analyze here. Before we go deep into that, just a quick request. You might be watching this channel, but you're not yet subscribed, so my humble request, please consider subscribing so that another time, once we release a video like this one, you'll always get notified. Again, to all our channel subscribers and the NLO comment, I must say thank you so much for unconditional support. Again, I'm requesting you to give our video a thumbs up so that YouTube can recommend our videos to more viewers. Back to our discussion. Now, there are two things that is making Rigathi Gachagua to protest the decision for Musalia Mudavadi to occupy the office that intended to use, where William Ruto was using. Because we understand Ruto has suggested that Musalia Mudavadi will take over his office, which he was using as the deputy president. But Rigathi Gachagua will take over the official residence. According to William Ruto, maybe in one way what he thinks is that Rigathi can still use his official residence as an office. And beside this, 2 floors at the Arambe House, office of president. So he has that. That's why he wants to give the annex to Musalia Mudavadi. But then, the decision to delay Rigathi Gachagua is like maybe they are telling him to take one. You either choose to take the annex office or the official residence, so that the other one will be left with Musalia Mudavadi. Because remember, the official residence of the deputy president has an office. That's a full office. A fully fledged office you can still use. So Gachagua has to make a decision on these two. But the first reason is that for Gachagua to decline is that Gachagua is feeling that he delivered more to William Samoei Ruto compared to what Musalia Mudavadi delivered to William Samoei Ruto in terms of the votes. We are aware Western Region delivered 600,000 votes to William Samoei Ruto. If you put together what Musalia Mudavadi gave and what Wetangula brought to the table. But we are aware that Central Kenya ilikuwa na kura mzuri, millions. But again, you can't put that on Gachagua. You say that Gachagua delivered this. Ruto had already in Mount Kenya a long time ago. So his presence was there. These people did not vote for Gachagua, for Ruto just because of Gachagua. Even if you could have chosen another person like Ichungwa, still they were going to vote for him. So that one can also be contested. But the reason for Gachagua is that he delivered more to William Ruto. That Mount Kenya delivered more to William Ruto. So Mount Kenya should be rewarded. Office ya deputy president wakuwe nayo na official residence. That is number one. But what Gachagua does not understand here is that even if you give William Ruto the vote from Mount Kenya and whatever he got in all those other areas, and you remove the 600,000 votes from William Ruto, actually Ruto will not be president today. Because the difference between Railaodinga and President William Samoei Ruto was merely 230,000 votes. But the margin between Uhuru and Railaodinga in 2017 was more than 1 million votes. So, 600,000 votes was crucial to William Samoei Ruto. And for that reason, you cannot wish away such magnitude, because after 2027, labda Raila atakuwa kwa ballot. Na akikuwa huko na watu waende, there were problem. Number two, Gachagua understands one thing, that if you bring in the issue of the Prime Cabinet Secretary, you are simply reducing his power and influence that he could have in the government. I'm saying this reflecting on what happened in Jubilee in 2013 and look on the reflection in 2017. 2013, Matiang'i wasn't a super secretary. He wasn't a super cabinet secretary. And you can see how Ruto had the trappings of power. But when President Uhuru Kenyatta issued an executive order which made Matiang'i to be a super cabinet secretary, he had the trappings of power. He could chair the cabinet meeting, then brief the president. So when you have anything, you simply go through Matiang'i. Look at that. And that alone reduced the power from William Ruto, and he was merely knocking that government. All of us understand that. Now, you want to make it, is it conditional or what? You want to bring Musalia Mudavadi here, and through an executive order, you make him a prime cabinet secretary. Though they are saying they will take it through the National Assembly, and maybe even in the upcoming election, that position will be there. Because now they will put it in there. Is it constitutional? Like in a type referendum, but through executive order, like that. So, what I'm saying is that Musalia Mudavadi, once they become the prime cabinet secretary, already in the Gachagua, powers will be stripped. Mudavadi will have the trappings of power because he's going to chair. He will be chairing the cabinet meetings. But Gachagua will be there just for dedicated duties. If Ruto will tell him do this and that, that's what he will do. And if not, he has nothing to do. And seemingly, you see, the way they are going to put it is like Musalia Mudavadi will be the person who will be attending the National Assembly sittings to go and respond to the issues touching on government. Any question you want to ask is the one who will be doing that. Something that is happening in Tanzania. You see, the Prime Minister in Tanzania is the one who responds to the government issues when the question is raised in the National Assembly. So Gachagua is afraid that Musalia Mudavadi will take all the power, in fact political power. He will have all the political powers compared to what he will have. And remember, the position that Gachagua has of now was to help him to propel his candidature as a president in 2027 or 2032. So two things. He delivered more than Musalia, and number two is like Mudavadi will have more powers compared to what he will have because of the positions and the job he will be doing. So there is a serious war in Kenya, Kwanza. We don't know how it will end. Maybe it will end in tears or the other way around. But I see the Gachagua being reduced to a mere deputy president, like a deputy president we had after 2017. And the Mudavadi will be even more powerful than Fred Matiang'i. Ruto has his own reason. See you in our next video, but I'm waiting to read your comment. Thank you so much.